Welcome. If you have a computer, you need to know this. Fernando will teach you how to make an easy and safe backup to protect your data and avoid future problems. Worried about losing your files? That will no longer be a problem. You'll never lose important data again. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the FAPC and Graphic Design channel, FAPC Mobile. This is for all of you. Stay with us because today we're going to tell you how you can keep your computer safe forever. Imagine never having to format your Windows 11 again. Oh my God. We're going to show you the safest processes, how to make a backup, how to check that your backup is done correctly, and all the steps you need to follow. You know that you can do it with Windows, but we'll also tell you how to make that backup in case your Windows is damaged by viruses, by creating a removable media. That way, you can recover everything on your PC without having to format it ever again. Oh my God, all that and much more. But first, let's jump into the video. Hey terrestrials! It's great that you're here on the FAPC channel. Today, we're going to teach you how to make backups easily. You'll only need a removable hard drive and a USB. You'll never have to format your computer again. You don't want to miss this. So stay tuned. The first thing we're going to do is go to the description of the video. We've got a little program there that you can download from the link in the description. You can find it here. You'll download it from the link in the video description. Click Show More to access this page. Look for the free backup program. First, I should tell you that you can also create a backup using other methods, but I don't recommend them because they can fail. With this program, which is completely free, you can verify your backup, create one with just a single click, and enjoy instant recovery with high efficiency. This backup program can also create a bootable backup, which is very useful for disaster recovery when your computer doesn't start. To recover this backup, you have two options: when the computer encounters an issue but still starts up, or when the computer doesn't start at all. As long as no components are physically damaged, you can restore your backup. By following these steps, you can avoid the hassle of constantly formatting your Windows system. Oh my God! If you have any questions or comments, leave them here. I recommend subscribing to the channel because now we're going to show you how to create the backup and explain what you need to do. For this process, we will need the following: a hard drive, preferably SSD, but not necessarily SSD, that connects well to your ports, and a removable hard drive. You will also need to create an image in case Windows doesn't load, as if you were going to format the PC. We will do this on a 1 GB USB drive. We are going to click on Free Download for Windows. Note that this is for Windows 11 and 10. The free features include backup and restore, which should be sufficient for our needs. We will click on Download and save our copy. Note that this will be the small program TV free installed. Do not install anything else that does not have that name. Run the program as an administrator. Make sure that when you create the backup, you do so with as little data as possible on your PC in the C partition. We will only back up the operating system files. In my case, I have everything in C. You can go here to slowly free up disk space. In Windows 11, which is what I use, click on Accept. There are some files that you can safely delete. You will permanently delete those files, freeing up space. Now we will go to Storage, then to Configuration, then to System, and finally to Storage again. Here, we will wait for these files to load. If you have it activated, you may have fewer files. If not, there may be many files to delete. You can delete installed applications or whatever you have on your hard drive. It will mark some files as others. Check here to see what you have. For example, temporary files and downloads can be deleted to avoid being copied during the backup process. Windows Defender may also cache some data, and shader caches or error reports can be deleted as well. Windows Defender Cache shader caches, and error reports are no longer necessary. We can choose to remove these files and continue. One important thing to note before making this backup is that you should update your drivers. Make sure all your drivers are up to date. We will continue by removing files and applying updates. I highly recommend updating the drivers, and I'll leave a video tutorial on how to update all your drivers for free. Now, if the program is already installed, you can find it here. We are going to run it now. One critical step you must take is to disable your antivirus software completely before starting the backup. I personally don't use antivirus software because I rely on Windows Defender. In fact, Windows Defender is sufficiently powerful as an antivirus solution. However, I'd use a firewall, which I highly recommend to block any unauthorized attempts to access your PC. Any antivirus software that you have should be disabled because it can interfere with the creation of the backup. The cloning process creates a backup of the disk and the system drive. These are premium tools, including transfer tools and image checking tools. You can check the backup protection here and create an emergency disk. The Security Zone Manager is another useful tool. Let's proceed to create a backup. Of course, you can log into your ASUS account to connect to the cloud service, although this is optional. You should do this when you have time. If not, save the tutorial, and you can complete it later. If you choose this option, which is the most recommended, you will copy the operating system, programs, and also the configurations that you have made in Windows. All these settings will be saved. So, which option should you choose? We choose this system backup of the selected data, 340 GB. Notice that you will need sufficient space for this. Next, you'll select where you want to save your files. Click here to choose the destination of the backup. You can save it on a local drive or an external hard drive. If you pay, you can even save it in the cloud or on a network. There's also an option for a security zone. We will choose a local drive. Notice that I have connected a removable hard drive, and it has been automatically recognized. It shows up as master here, and you'll see the folder named My Back. We'll leave it by default, so the backup will be saved in that folder. However, you can go to options where you can modify several settings. For example, here you can set the compression level to normal and adjust the transfer speed priority. You can choose high priority, but keep in mind that it will consume more resources to complete faster. We will leave it on automatic. To make the backup with a password, you can set it here. However, we won't set a password since it's for our use. Just enter your password here if you decide to use one. Well, I think. As it is set up, you can practically leave it as it is. Then, you're going to click on Create Backup Now. Oh my God, and now we're going to wait. Notice how it says that it's working, and the data is already being transferred to our backup copy. It shows 669 GB available. We're going to use about 350. You can see here that it's making a backup of the file system, and this is going to be great. Forget about having to format your Windows when it fails, because with this system, it's going to be fantastic, and I recommend it to absolutely everyone. Windows does have a way to make a backup without a program, but I do not recommend it. Go to the Control Panel. In the Control Panel, set it to Small Icons View, and then look for Backup and Restore. Another way to make a backup without a program would be to make a backup now and then create a system image, which is similar to making a USB recovery drive, but you can do it from here. However, I don't recommend it. If you've made a backup, Windows will subtract the file from here. But that's done with Windows. I recommend that you install a program instead. And from within the program, manage the files so that your backup will be as good as new in case you can't access Windows. We'll also have an additional USB port so that we can use a removable hard drive We'll use a 1 GB pen drive along with the hard drive for the backup. When the computer manages to start but doesn't perform well, or if it doesn't start at all, we'll use the hard drive and the pen drive. Insert the 1 GB pen drive and boot from the USB. Through the program loaded onto the pen drive, you'll be able to boot your computer. Make sure your backup copy is correctly created. Now, once you have made the backup copy, know that this process will take a while. But it will be worth it because you won't have to format your Windows anymore, as long as you haven't modified your hard drive. Don't change the partitions on the hard drive, which can be done even from Windows. If you didn't know, modifying the size of partitions while keeping them intact will allow you to return to this state without having to reformat your computer. To perform this recovery, note that I already have the system backup created. First, we must check that the backup copy is well made. Apart from checking that backup copy, you'll need a 1 GB pen drive in case our PC doesn't start. There are two ways to restore this copy if your PC malfunctions. Imagine you install something, and suddenly, things go wrong. You try to restore the system, but something still doesn't work even after restoring it. This would be the first option you would try. For that, go to Tools and select Check Image. Set the backup copy, it automatically selects the source. Then, click to check and review it completely. Yes, this is going to take some time, so just like before, it will require some patience. But if you're enjoying this and seeing how much work I'm saving you from having to format your system or take it to a technician, stick with it. Most importantly, with this method, you won't have to worry about formatting your system. It's crucial to check the image thoroughly, so let's wait. While we wait, subscribe to the channel, comment, and let me know how it went. Did you manage to make your backup copy? If you want to learn more, I'll also leave a link in the video description below, guiding you step by step on how to restore your system. Once you've completed these steps, and it says that the backup is done, it should show no errors in the following files. This confirmation is crucial. It ensures that your full backup copy is intact and ready. Now, you can finish it. We will need a 1 GB pen drive, for example. Let's go to Tools and take a look at what we've done so far. We've already checked the system, and now we need to create an emergency disk on the pen drive. Select Create Emergency Disk, and choose the location of the boot disk. Click Explore to change the name if you wish. You can do this by going to Properties or selecting Rename. I'm going to name it Emergency. The name has now been changed. Next, notice that we could format the disk here. The emergency image file is already in place, labeled as an ISO disk image. However, I recommend formatting it before proceeding. You can choose between NTFS or exFAT, but the default is FAT. If it's not FAT, I'm going to select exFAT because it's more compatible with Windows. Now, let's proceed with the full format. Notice that in Emergency, we no longer have anything on the disk, it's empty. If we check the properties, we see that we have a gigabyte and a bit free. Now, we are ready to make our emergency disk copy. To do this, there's no need to pay. We simply go to Explore, then navigate to this PC, and select the emergency disk we named earlier. Here, we're going to put emergency as the name. You can name it whatever you want. Notice that it's an ISO file, and there's no other option. You have another option, so you won't lose anything. Here, it will create the emergency disk. No driver is needed, we have everything updated. Simply click on Create Now. This option is for something else, like cloning or transferring the system, so it's not our concern for this process. Now it's going to create our emergency disk. Notice that it's already progressing at 70%, 85%, and then 99%. You'll see that WinPE has been exported successfully. You can now finish and save your emergency disk with this ISO created, along with your hard disk using my back. Here is the system backup, see where it is? This would be the system backup with 258 gigabytes, or however much you need. Now, let's explore how to restore everything once it's done. Click Explore to restore from a local drive, network device, or another local drive. Click here to explore the restore process. Let's go to where we have the computer and navigate to Master. We are going to look for where we made our MyBCS backup. Notice that when we go there, it's already marked. If we click OK, you'll see it prompts us for the next step. Here, we need to choose the option. Look, it already says NTS here. If we click Next, the backup copy will be made automatically. Now, look at the advanced options. These include system transfer, not optimizing for SSD, and sector-by-sector restoration. We click OK, and now, with this selected, we can click Next to set the system partition on the destination disk if it will be overwritten. This is what you need to do if your computer is running Windows but you have error problems. It would simply proceed up to this point, and here it will overwrite the backup copy. If I click Yes now, it will overwrite everything, so I don't want to do that at this moment. However, if for some reason Windows isn't working for you and you can't have this program installed, then what you're going to do is follow the instructions that I'll leave for you. You'll find these instructions in the video description and in the comments. What happens if Windows doesn't start? For that, we have the USB port. What do we need to do? Insert the USB into your computer. If your computer is a Toshiba, you'll need to search online to find out how to access the boot menu. Once you turn it on, press the key repeatedly that lets you enter boot mode. In my case, it's F12 or F2 during the initial boot. This will let you access the boot menu. Here, I'll explain everything to you. Later, I'll upload a tutorial on how to make this backup copy by recording it with a mobile phone. Then, you'll select the boot device by inserting the USB stick and pressing the boot medium start key. The system should boot from the USB and load the ASUS TODBCS recovery environment. Once you have the TODBCS loaded, you will need to restore the backup, which is essentially what we have done. Once you have found where the backup is stored using the program, search within the recovery environment. Select Recover or Restore, then navigate to the backup on your external hard drive and select the PBD image file. Choose the partitions to restore, and proceed. You will no longer need to format your PC, and this will be a great relief for you. Since this method is so beneficial, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. Let me know if you were able to successfully create your backup. I'm confident you will find this process incredibly helpful, and you'll be thankful because your PC won't fail you again, and you won't have to reformat it. Okay, greetings to everyone, and goodbye. Bye-bye.